Hello, English learners. Welcome back to the English Insight Podcast. I'm really happy you are here today. Yes, really, because today's conversation is going to feel very real for many of you. This is the place where you don't just study English, you experience English. You listen, you imagine, and slowly, step by step, your speaking confidence grows. I'm Sarah.
And I am Daniel. And today, we have a conversation that many people secretly struggle with. Trust in relationships. Yes, sometimes people love each other, but something feels wrong. Something feels uncertain. And in this conversation, you will hear real phrases that people use when they talk about trust, honesty, feelings, and doubt. These are the kinds of conversations you might hear between friends, partners, or couples. And when you listen carefully, you will learn how people express emotions in English, naturally.
Yes, Daniel, and English learners often tell us something interesting. They say, Sarah, I understand English movies, I understand podcasts, but when I need to speak about feelings, my mind suddenly becomes empty. Maybe you feel the same. Maybe you know the grammar, maybe you know the vocabulary, but when a real emotional conversation starts, you freeze. You start thinking too much. You become nervous, and the words disappear.
That is very normal. And that is exactly why we created today's conversation. Because instead of teaching you grammar, we want you to listen to a natural moment. A real conversation. Two people talking honestly. Sometimes calm, sometimes emotional, sometimes confused. Just like real life. And while you listen, your brain starts learning patterns. Natural phrases, real rhythm, real emotions.
And don't worry if you don't understand every single word. That's not the goal. The goal is to feel the conversation, to notice the phrases people use when they are honest, when they are worried, when they are trying to understand each other, because that is the English you need in real life.
Exactly. So today, we are going to imagine something. A couple sitting in a quiet cafe, maybe late afternoon, coffee cups on the table, and something important needs to be said. Something that has been in their minds for a while.
Yes, and sometimes these conversations start very gently, but slowly, emotions appear, questions appear, and the truth starts coming out. So listen carefully, because these are phrases you can use in real conversations when talking about trust, honesty, and feelings.
All right, let's begin the conversation.
Daniel, can I ask you something?
Of course. What's on your mind?
I've been thinking about something for a few days, and I didn't want to say it immediately, because I didn't want to sound dramatic. But I think I should be honest.
Honesty is always better. What's bothering you?
Okay, I'll say it directly. Lately, I feel like you've been distant. Not angry, not rude, just distant.
Distant? What makes you feel that way?
Small things. You reply to messages later than before. Sometimes when we talk, it feels like your mind is somewhere else. And yesterday, when I asked if everything was okay, you said, I'm just tired. But it didn't feel like the whole truth.
I didn't realize it looked that way. Honestly, I have been stressed with work recently. And sometimes when my mind is full, I become quiet without noticing it.
I understand stress. Everyone has stressful days. But trust in a relationship means we can talk about things, not hide them.
You're right. Maybe I should have explained how I felt instead of staying silent.
That's all I wanted. Just honesty, not perfection.
Honesty is sometimes harder than people think.
That's true, but it also makes relationships stronger.
Can I ask you something now?
Of course.
When you started feeling this distance, why didn't you tell me earlier?
Because I was afraid. Afraid that maybe I was overthinking. Or maybe you would think I was being too sensitive.
No. Talking about feelings is never too sensitive.
That's good to hear, because trust doesn't grow from silence. It grows from conversations like this.
You know something interesting?
What?
Sometimes people lose trust not because of big lies, but because of small things that are never explained.
That is actually very true. Small doubts can slowly become big problems.
Exactly. And that's why conversations like this matter.
I'm glad we're talking about it, because silence can create stories in our minds, and those stories are not always true.
That might be the most accurate thing you've said today.
Maybe, but I'm curious about something else now. When did you first notice something was wrong in our conversation patterns?
Honestly, I think I noticed it last week. There was a moment when we were sitting together, but we were both on our phones, not talking, not really connecting, just scrolling. And suddenly I thought, when did this become normal?
I remember that evening. We were in the living room, and the room was quiet. Not the peaceful kind of quiet, the uncomfortable kind.
Exactly. And the strange thing is, nothing dramatic happened. No big fight, no big argument, just small moments of distance, adding up.
You know what's interesting? Many relationships don't break because of one big problem. They slowly weaken because people stop talking about the small things.
That's powerful, because those small moments are actually signals. Signals that say, hey, something needs attention.
And this is important for you listening right now. Maybe you are not in a relationship. Maybe you are. But conversations like this teach something deeper. They teach you how people express feelings in English, not perfect sentences, not textbook grammar, just honest words.
Exactly. And that's the kind of English that gives you real confidence. The English that works in real conversations, not the English that only works in exams.
Yes, and if you are enjoying conversations like this is exactly what we do on this channel. Real conversations, real emotions, real English. So if you want more of this, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next episode.
All right, Sarah, back to the conversation. Because something important just happened. You noticed distance. I noticed silence. But neither of us spoke about it immediately.
That happens to many people. They feel something is wrong, but they wait, and wait, and wait.
And sometimes that waiting creates fear. You start asking questions in your mind. Did I do something wrong? Are they losing interest? Is something changing?
And the problem is, your mind starts creating stories, stories that might not even be true.
Exactly. And those imaginary stories can damage trust faster than reality.
That's why communication matters so much. Not perfect communication, just honest communication.
Let me ask you something honestly. Did you ever think I was hiding something from you?
For a moment, yes. Not because you did something obvious, but because silence leaves space for doubt.
That's fair, and I appreciate that you told me. Because many people hide those feelings, and they slowly grow into resentment.
Exactly. Talking early prevents bigger problems later.
You know, something funny? People think trust means never having doubts, but that's not true. Trust means talking about doubts instead of hiding them.
That's actually a beautiful way to say it.
Maybe I should write that down somewhere.
You probably should.
All right, let's pause the story for a moment. Because if you're listening right now, I want you to think about something. Have you ever experienced a moment like this? A moment when you understood everything, but didn't know how to say it in English?
Maybe you knew the feeling, maybe you knew the idea, but the words didn't come. Your mind went blank.
That happens to almost every English learner. And the solution is not memorizing more grammar. The solution is listening to real conversations like this. Because slowly, your brain starts learning how people actually speak.
And then one day something surprising happens. You are in a conversation, and suddenly the words come out naturally.
That moment feels amazing because you realize, I can actually speak English.
And if you want that moment to happen sooner, keep listening, keep practicing, and most importantly, don't be afraid of making mistakes.
Mistakes are not proof that you are bad at English. They are proof that you are brave enough to try.
Exactly. And today's conversation showed something very important. Trust grows when people speak honestly.
And confidence in English grows the same way. You speak, you try, you improve, step by step.
So here's a small challenge for you today. Try saying one honest sentence in English. Just one. Maybe to a friend, maybe to yourself, maybe even out loud right now.
And if you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to like the video, because it helps more English learners find this channel.
And of course, subscribe if you want more real English conversations that help you speak naturally.
Remember, you don't need perfect English. You just need the courage to speak.
And we'll be here to help you every step of the way.
See you in the next conversation.
Take care and keep speaking.